a really important topic. So track and field early signing period. So a lot of you guys probably know that we are currently in the early signing period right now. It goes from the, November 8th through November 15th. So that means that by end of day, 11:59 tomorrow night is the end to the first signing period, the early signing period. So we'll go into a little bit more detail about that, and I'm sure I'll have some questions about what to do if you're not ready to early sign. But here we go. So my name is Coach Jamie Hill. I'll be your track and field recruiting coach hosting this class for you guys. I probably work some of you, and if there's some of you in here that I don't yet know, I'm within the sport of track and field just like the other recruiting coaches that you're probably working with. And here's a little bit of information about me. Going back to high school, I'm from the state of Wisconsin. So back when I was running in the state, I had some success, and I've been a record holder, Wisconsin state champion. So was able to get recruited to some really great Division I schools. Ultimately decided on attending the University of Michigan. So if there's any Michigan fans out there, go blue. But when I was there, I had a lot of success over my 5 years. Was able to letter in cross country, indoor and outdoor track multiple times, and was also a part of some Big Ten conference championship teams, which was really special and really fun. So have a lot of great experiences, but because I was able to attend Division I school, I went through the whole recruiting process just like all of you guys. So had my option to do early signing, and had a lot of experiences with, or not a lot of experiences, but I had the experience of signing the national letter of intent. So any questions that you guys are going to have throughout throughout this recruiting class here tonight, just let me know. But we'll go through information first, and then by the end of this presentation, we're going to start talking about any questions that you guys have. So what we are going to cover here tonight, here's our outline. So we'll talk about the actual national letter of intent first, a little bit about signing periods, releases and appeals if you did want to get out of a national letter of intent, talk about the process just briefly with junior college, and then we'll talk about how you can contact the NLI office and some next steps for those of you who aren't ready to commit in the early signing period. So I have a feeling I might be getting more questions than anything come the end of this session. Keep in mind at the end of this session, if somebody does need to leave early, or if there's somebody who wasn't able to make the class, I will be sending a recording out. So don't worry so much about that. So we'll get going here. First of all, some national letter of intent facts. So it's a binding agreement between a student athlete and the institution that you're going to be signing it with. So you will be agreeing to attend that institution full time, and it's good for 1 year. So 2 semesters or 3 quarters, so your first full year. You'll also be agreeing with any type of financial aid for that 1 academic year as well. So you might be sending in a letter of intent without a scholarship. If there is any scholarship funds attached to that, it will be with the national letter of intent. You should have that information. For valid, it must be accompanied with the financial aid agreements. Again, if you are receiving some type of athletic scholarship, that should be with your national letter of intent. You will have an NCAA ID. That's why you need to register with the NCAA Eligibility Center. If you guys have signed or plan on signing by the end of the day tomorrow, I assume you already have your NCAA ID numbers. You will also need this if you're in junior college. You do not need to have it if you're in junior college and aren't looking to sign right away, but you will need that eventually in order to transfer. So you must not sign this prior to any signing date. So I take it that none of you have signed something that you weren't supposed to over this last week. You probably even have the documents in your hands. But you also must include a parent or legal guardian signature. So in order to do that, the student athlete, you do need to be under the age of 21 to have that parent or guardian signature, which I assume all of you guys are under the age of 21. All right. So next, talking about no letter of intent is declared null or void if denied admission to the college or university. So keep that in mind. You do need to actually get accepted into the school. national letter of intent does not meet NCAA eligibility requirements. You should know or not, or the coaches should know or not if you are eligible. That also means that you might be eligible at this time, but keep in mind you do need to send a final official transcript into the NCAA at the end of your junior or at the end of your senior year. So with that being said, you need to continue to do well enough in school to stay eligible. And not just well enough, you need to be doing the best that you can. So just because you have to send in that final transcript. Discontinue the sport, you're not playing anymore, that would be a reason for the contract to become null. Or if you recruit, or if you have any rule violations, that could be another situation where NLI becomes null or void. If there is a coaching change, you are signing the national letter of intent with the school, not the coach. So if your school is moving across the country to a different school, you're not moving across the country with them. You're still committed to that school. If that were the case, for whatever reason, you would have to get released from that school in order to follow the coach elsewhere. Hopefully you guys won't be going through much of that, but it does happen. All right, so next thing, more facts here. So coaching contact prohibited at the time of signing. So a coach can deliver your national letter of intent off campus. So they're not going to be coming to your house and then get to you to sign. So for most of you, it's probably something that was either given to you if you were on a college visit in the last couple of days that you took home, or it's been delivered to you by mail, email, fax, one of those other ways. You submitted electronically, email, for example. Here are the signing periods. We already talked about this a little bit. Early signing period for track and field, November 8th through 15th. Again, that goes through 11:59 tomorrow. Keep that track field does not have the same signing periods as every other sport. So you have friends who are signing with football and things like that. Our dates do not line up with all the other sports, so keep these dates in mind. The regular signing period will start on April 11th. Any of you are athletes of mine, and we've talked recently. I told you that I want to sign with the school, but November to mid-April. That is because that is when most of your opportunities are be around, whether it's just getting a roster or receiving a scholarship. So, don't worry if you're not ready to sign during the signing period. We do have this other signing period. There are still going to be scholarships available, but you're 100% set on your decision. You have that NLI. Definitely recommend signing early. So that's for Division I and Division II schools. Division III, NAI programs, junior colleges, even Ivy League schools do not fall under the category of signing the NLI. So keep that in mind. I take it those of you who have signed or are signing are going to be with Division I or II schools. So releases and appeals. So releases and appeals, meaning that you no longer want to attend that school, or you want that NLI to become void for some reason. So requests must be initiated by the NLI signee, which would be you guys, the student athletes. I submit an NLI release request online. The institution may release you guys. It's at the institution's discretion to grant release or not. So keep that in mind. So that even comes for like transferring. So let's say you guys sign the NLI and by the end of springtime you want to transfer schools. You do have to go to your coach and they have to release you. So with the release, it's not the same as NCAA permission to contact. So we cannot include conditions to be released to specific institutions. So keep in mind, hopefully we're not running into too many situations where you guys need to be released or are requesting to be released. It's usually a case-by-case situation. So I recommend going to your recruiting coach specifically with any questions that you have about that. But other coaches usually are good about releasing students, so it's not usually a huge concern. But with over 40,000 student athletes who are signing, less than 1% are actually requesting to release. So what I do want to make with this is that you will only should sign if you're 100% confident in the decision you want to make. Once you sign your NLI, you're no longer a recruit. seek other coaches in other schools. You're committed to that school, and you're for that fall semester to come. You're actually going to be an athlete at that school. So, and if you're not 110% ready to commit to that school, I do not recommend that you sign an NLI, because then you'd have to go through the entire process of being released. That's something where it could be detrimental to a relationship you have with a coach as well. So that I recommend only signing if you're 110% ready to do so. Junior college. So there's a different set of rules when it comes to junior college and NLIs. Not too different, but you do, again, need to have that NCAA ID. You don't have to sign an NLI to go to junior college, but enrolling in a junior college after sending an NLI, you must graduate junior college. But what we are going to recommend is that these usually end up being case-by-case situations if you sign an NLI and end up at a junior college. So we really do want you to go to the NCAA transfer guide for more information for that. Or again, somewhere it's a case-by-case situation, get in touch with your recruiting coaches specifically about that situation, and we'll help you out the best that we can. But you can send an NLI and then head to a junior college. So, for example, let's say you come academically ineligible or ready to compete at that school, that would be that situation. So you can enroll in a junior college without signing an NLI previously, which I've already stated, but you can't sign an NLI while you're attending a junior college if you're a qualifier. If you're a qualifier, you cannot sign an NLI in your first year of junior college because you do have to complete more than 1 year. If you see, you have to at least complete 3 semesters or 4 quarters before you can sign that NLI. Again, this is for junior college. So if you do have any specific questions, this is the phone number to reach your NLI office contact information. So I would recommend calling rather than going to the website and trying to find a way to email them, because you will get more of a straight answer. Hopefully you don't run into any crazy types of situations, and that once you sign it, you're happy and excited and good to go. But let's say you're signing an NLI here in November. That's completely okay. No reason to panic. More student athletes will be committing in April than in November anyway. You have to remember, though, that more work needs to be done with your recruiting process. So if anything, now than ever is when you need to be communicating with coaches. So make that you're connecting with as many programs as possible. Emails and phone calls is what I recommend. If anything, phone calls will be the most beneficial to continue your recruiting, get college visits, get to where you're going to be signing an NLI. So that is my best advice, to make sure that you're working all of those college connections. Maybe more work needs to be done athletically or academically. You do need to have over, I would say, like on average, a 2.3 GPA. If you need work there, make sure that you're working as hard as you can in order to get that 2.3 GPA. Or athletically, maybe coach gave you some standards on what you need to hit in the indoor season. So at that point, you're working hard at getting those standards before they're giving you that NLI. So overall, like I said, more student athletes are committing at a later signing date than the early signing date. So don't feel like all of your opportunities are disappearing just because you didn't sign. I want you to be 110% sure in the school you're signing for before you actually sign your NLI, again, because it's binding. The release process is not a fun process. It's not something that's easy, because you're making your college decision. You should be happy with your decision. We recommend that you also are connecting with other Division II, Division III, and NAI programs in junior colleges. If you aren't getting good feedback from, let's say, the Division I or Division II level at this point, if it looks like a coach isn't going to have you commit to that school, sign that national letter of intent, make sure you do have some fallback options in place. Hopefully it won't come a fallback option, but just make sure that you're making connections at all different division levels. Again, developing interest is vital. So that's the best advice that I'm giving my student athletes right now, is that you are actively communicating with college coaches on a daily basis. Again, emails, phone calls, setting up college visits, ask the right questions about what financial opportunities are available to you, what are recruiting timelines for those college coaches, when they want you to make a college decision by. all things are really important in order to know what to do next. Other than that, I'm going to be ready to take questions. Before I answer questions, I am going to put a really quick feedback link in here, so that way you guys can let us know how your NCSA process is going so far, how you like the program, how are you liking these classes, are they informational, so that way we're looking to get feedback from you guys. So give me 1 second to put this in the chat box here, and from there I'm going to be taking all of your guys' questions. All right, 1 second here. I'll just put in the box that link there, or so what this is a one-question survey asking again about your NCSA experience so far. So if you could fill that out, it shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds. But at this point, if you guys do have any questions other than tonight, make sure that you're calling this 877 number I have up here. We'll get you in touch with our recruiting staff. That what they're here for is to answer all of your questions. So we have the recruiting help email address as well. So either way, if for some reason you're not getting a response right when you call or right when you send us an email, within 24 hours we should get back to you. But on that, if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and just ask me directly, or you can type it in the chat box here. At this point in time, again, any questions? All right, first question, I'm going to read this here. So this is a good question. So if you don't sign by tomorrow night, then you can't sign again until April 11th, or is it possible for offers to come in before April 11th? So what will happen from after tomorrow night? After tomorrow night, you can't sign a national letter of intent, but you still can get scholarship offers. So if you scholarship offer before April 11th, which is extremely common, what you'll do is you'll verbally commit. You'll tell the coach that you're going there, but you won't be able to actually sign on the dotted line of a national letter of intent until April 11th. So if you're agreeing, then you should be good to go, but again, you're just not signing right then and there. Follow-up question to that, or if there are any other questions, please let me know. We have a couple seconds. If you don't have any questions currently, then you can go ahead and log off. But here we have another question. Does a walk-on still sign an NLI? You can still sign an NLI. Just won't have any financial papers attached to it. So make sure to talk to the coach of the school who you're talking to about that. But if you are going to walk on and your preferred walk-on, that means that you already have a roster spot before start date of school, then you will be signing. Otherwise, walk-ons sometimes have to try out for the team, and if you're a tryout, then you will not be signing an NLI date on that April 11th date. All right, questions coming in. So in an NLI, do you have to contact coaches who have been contacting you originally? Or let me reread this question. Hold on, guys. If you sign an NLI with the school, just to be courteous to the coaches who have reaching out to you of the schools you did not sign with, I would reach out to them and let them know. So that if you sign an NLI, from there, call the other coaches of the schools who you basically are turned down and just let them know you've made your decision. Be as kind as possible because they did take a lot of time to recruit you, and wish them the best of luck in their recruiting. But yes, I would definitely let them know. Is there a chance you could miss out the school because they might not have as much scholarship money? Usually that isn't normally the case, but I would be asking that question to the coach. So if they did give you a scholarship offer and you have the NLI, if you're not ready to make your decision yet, if this offer is still on the table past the date. So if you're waiting and you haven't even received an offer yet, it shouldn't affect the offers that should come in. Like the National Letter of Intent for NAI schools. So the National Letter of Intent itself is just for Division I and Division II schools. NAI schools will have a little bit of a different process. There's an NAI school eligibility center that you'd have to fill out, and you will sign to go to the school, but it is not an NLI. It's a lot easier of a process, and there isn't deadlines like there is for the NLI. So it's something that's kind of an ongoing, recurring process. So keep that in mind for that. If you are signing with a Division III program, there is no NLI at all. Usually when you send in your housing deposit, basically means you're going there and you've committed to the school and you're on the team. Next question. Official visit limits for D1, D2, and NAIA. There are no limit on official visits for Division II and NAIA. For Division I, you get 5 official visits. So once you reach those 5, anything past that needs to be unofficial. You can do 1 official visit per school. All right, next question here. So other than Division II and NAIA, Division III, there's no limit. Junior college, there is no limit. If you have an offer but don't want to sign now, how should you let the coach know? I would definitely call them and have a conversation with the coach. If possible, a face-to-face conversation would be best, but assuming you're not in the town of where the school is, most definitely call the coach because they do need to know, because they do have other recruits that are looking at them. So, and if they're expecting you to sign, that is a conversation you have to have. And all you do is be super kind and make them know just your situation, like you're not 110% sure, you don't want to sign unless you are 110% sure, the school is still at the top of your list. However, you're just looking for a little bit more time. Is that okay with them? So that's a good way to approach that conversation. How relationship with the coach? Strong. To keep strong relationships with the coach, just be actively communicating with them. So let's say you're in season and you have a new PR. Let the coach know. Let's say you got a 4.0 GPA on your report card come after semester. Let coach know. If you have any questions for the coach at any point in time, always get in touch with them. So the periodic communication is going to be how you keep up a relationship with the coach. And there I would also try to do, if you've already done an official visit, you can always do another unofficial visit to make sure that there's always interest. Don't email just to email. Don't call just call. But those are all things that you can use in terms of communicating with the coach. Cut-off time for early signing period. So again, it looks like you missed part of this call. Cut-off point for early signing period is 11:59 tomorrow night. And there, the next signing period is April 11th. So for this user, we do have a recording that will be sent out, so you'll be able to take a look at that and let me know any other questions about that. If an NAI school makes an offer, is there a deadline to respond? I would say there's a strict deadline, but I would make sure that you ask the coach, when they're looking to complete the roster for the 2018 recruiting class, because you don't want to wait around and have somebody else sign an offer and then all of a sudden they don't have any scholarship money for you. So there is no hard deadline, but I would either set a soft deadline for yourself and let the coach know that deadline, or ask them when they will have their recruiting class complete. What communication is allowed to the coach or once you have signed? Once you're signed, you're good to go to reach out to the coach whenever you want. There's no restrictions. You're basically an athlete of theirs, so you can call them, email them, text them, really at any point in time with any questions or concerns that you have. So at that point where you're not allowed to reach out to other coaches. So once you sign, you're good to go with reaching out to the school you committed to and all the coaching staff for there, but cannot go and still try to get recruited by other coaches from other schools. Before you guys go here tonight, for another second. If you don't have any questions and you feel good about the early sign period, go ahead and just log off. But if there is anything else, just please let me know. The best is send the NLI through NCSA or through email. The NLI should go directly to the school. So however they send it to you, I would send it back. If they email it to you, make sure you scan it and email it back to them. Do not send it to us at NCSA. Send it to the school and the coach. I'm going to have you fax it. So if there's instructions on the email that they send it to you or with a fax or whatever it might be. Okay, so that was the last question. I'll wait around here one more second. Brianna, I think you were just trying to send me something. So, so if I get back to you with this message or not. Brianna, can you message me? Do you want me to get back to you later? Okay, great. Thanks. All right. My guess is that we're good to go with questions. Brianna will get back to you. But if anybody has any other questions that come up, I know that this is a stressful time with early signing periods and college applications and all of that stuff. So if anything comes up, please reach out to us at this 877 number that's listed up here. Go to Recruiting Help as well. Again, what I'm going to do now is I am going to send out this recording. You guys should have it. I'll probably actually do it at some point tomorrow morning. So you can use this if you ever need to come back to that. I'm also going to be sending out that as a again as well, in case you weren't able to see that in the chat box earlier. So thank you for your time tonight. I hope that I was really helpful. And again, just please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns whatsoever. We're always here and happy to help. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your night.